We'll call this meeting to order. It's January 10th, 2022. The amended meeting notice has been posted. The media has been also noticed. The agenda is out. We'll call this meeting to order. Please call roll.
She's recording.
All right.
Christopher Frederickson,
Here.
Thomas Barnett,
Here.
Andrew Larson,
Here.
Carrie Michalowski,
Here.
Thomas Kelly,
Here.
Gerald Anderson, David Holt,
Here.
Eileen Daniel,
Here.
Ryan Rossing.
Here. We have a quorum to do business. Please rise. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Public comments, any received by our alderpersons? All right, Bill Freudenberg.
Can you hear me? Okay. Bill Freudenberg, City of Rhinelander. My comments tonight are about a man who was my friend, a real passionate leader for this community, lifelong member of this community as well. Was on the airport commission for many years, was the chairman, built that airport out there as we see today. Dedicated individual, dedicated family member, loving family member as well. Bob Heck was a great man, and Bob Heck passed away last Friday. And I just want to pay tribute to a man who did so much for this community moving forward. And hopefully his lifelong dream will carry on going forward. But I just wanted to say thank you to my friend and my colleague as well. May you rest in peace. Thank you.
Mayor's comments, I have none. Meeting minutes. Approval of the December 27, 2021 council meeting minutes.
Daniel, make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from December 27th, 2021.
Holt, I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Reports from boards, commissions, and committees. Report on the December 7th, 2021 tree board. It's in your packet. And a report from December 29th, 2021 Public Arts Commission.
Daniel, make a motion to approve the reports from the December 7th tree board meeting and the December 29th Public Art Commission meeting.
Holt, second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. Introduction to new business, discussion action items. Discuss and approve the bills and claims in the amount of $2,364,348.23.
Holt, I will make a motion to approve the bills and claims in the amount of $2,364,348.23.
Larson, second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further questions? Please call roll.
Thomas Barnett,
Aye.
Andrew Larson,
Aye.
Carrie Michalowski,
Aye.
Thomas Kelly,
Aye.
Gerald Anderson,
Aye.
David Holt,
Aye.
Eileen Daniel,
Aye.
Ryan Rossing.
Aye. Ayes have it. Motion carries. Discuss and approve Resolution 2021-1 authorizing the bike and ped for the LRIP grant application. Did you want to speak on this?
Yeah, the resolution's pretty straightforward, but this is one of the components to the grant application we made for the LRIP program. We do achieve additional points for scoring if we add or enhance bicycle and pedestrian accommodations where they currently do not exist, and along the area of Rose and Messer, around or along the bounds of Hood Egg Park, there's not any bicycle or pedestrian facilities. So the intent that's memorialized in the resolution is that we will work to accommodate them as part of any improvement project in the future should we become awarded grant dollars to reconstruct those streets.
I'll accept the motion.
Larson, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2022-1, authorizing bicycle and pedestrian facilities to LRIP grant application.
Holt, second.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Discuss and approve Resolution 2021-2, amending the wastewater rates and additional volume charges for unmetered use.
Jim could also speak to this, but essentially, we have a unique, we've had requests in the past, and we've got another request now for the ability to discharge volume, really essentially clean water into our sewer system. However, it's not a situation where the meter can be added to actually meter the use. It's specifically, it's the former hospital site that's going through some remediation. So oftentimes if there's environmental remediation where they're pumping groundwater out, treating it, and then discharging it, in this case, there's really no other alternative to location for that water to be discharged. So in a survey of other wastewater facilities, we've come up with a rate for that, and we're proposing to incorporate that into the fee schedule for wastewater rates as a part of this resolution. They would still have to make application, there would be a review process, and then there would be a kind of a sub-metering aspect to this, and that's called out in the fact that if they are discharging, they'll have to perform some form of metering of that usage. So it's just not going to be metered per the city sewer meter process that we do every other sewer customer within the city.
So I'll accept the motion. Gerald?
I move we approve Resolution 2022-2, amend sewer utility rates to add quarterly volume charge for a temporary unmetered discharge.
Holt, second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Eileen?
So the person doing the discharging is responsible then for measuring the amount of water?
Right,
it's an honor system,
we'll have to
basically.
have we're requiring a calibration, so there'll be a pre and a post check on that calibration, as well as the metering. So they, again, it's the difference, it's technically still metered, but it's just calling it unmetered based upon the city's metering system. We don't have a meter we could add to that location, given the arrangement. I don't know if Jim has any additional clarification on that, but that's the best explanation I can provide.
Okay.
Gerald? Oh, Tom? Thank you.
So, is there chemicals and stuff in this water that's going to be discharged?
In this case, no. However, there could be in the future. The sewer use ordinance prescribes to what threshold discharge can occur and be discharged into our sewer system for it to be acceptable waste, both for industrial users as well as residential users. So this wouldn't create another class of waste that we'd be taking that would be different than our existing wastewater discharge thresholds allow. Everything has to be compliant with the ordinances as they are today.
So no threat of anything getting into our groundwater?
Right, any contamination from that, correct. Yep.
Okay.
Gerald?
As I read it, I noticed the word quarterly in the title, but I don't see anything about quarterly anywhere in the body of it. Does that word belong there? If it's metered,
Yeah, the quarterly is a reference to the fact that we bill quarterly. So right now, I suppose it could stay or go. It's just recognizing that we currently bill quarterly. Our procedures would indicate that they would have to provide that usage quarterly to us. So I would prefer to retain the word quarterly in there. However, I could take it or leave it.
Eileen? Okay. No further discussion? All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
What's that? I didn't hear you.
Aye.
No. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Discuss and approve proposal from Pitlick and Wick for the 2022 chip seal.
Since the last council meeting where we presented the scope of the 2022 chip seal and street improvement projects, we solicited proposals, received one. The other proposer declined to submit a bid due to their scheduling. And based upon a review of statewide bid prices as well as kind of their pre-bid estimates, this was an appropriate price, and so I'd recommend approval of an agreement with Pitlick and Wick. This would be the same contractor we used last year, but would be the second year the city has used Pitlick and Wick for this type of work.
Rossing will make a motion to approve the proposal from Pitlick and Wick for 2022 chip seal.
Larson, second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further questions? Eileen?
Do we have any information? You said this is the same one we used in 2021.
Correct.
Has there been any feedback on the quality of the chip seal that was laid down last year?
Good point or good question. We did have, in all of our contracts, ultimately, there's a performance and a warranty, essentially. We did have one area where they came in and did some work that there was an unpredicted rain event that occurred, so they agreed to stand behind that work and repair it. They did repair it once last fall, and really until the winter season occurs and comes and goes for the first time, we really can't quite tell how it withstands a whole winter season. So, but they're obligated to stand behind their work. They're local, so I think from that standpoint, we've got a pretty, they've been very amicable and communicative in the procedures thus far. So I've a high degree of confidence. And again, we're not paying them for the work unless it's satisfactory to our inspection.
Could you explain also how we've changed when we chip seal and how that benefits the quality of product also?
Yeah, in the past, the city had a practice of almost kind of going it regardless of the circumstances and as it relates to the chip seal. And so there were some roads around City Hall that were chip sealed that unfortunately didn't stand up. And so we've really narrowed the time frame that the contractor can do the work. It has to be done May and June versus getting into late season where you run into higher dew points, colder temperatures where the material doesn't adhere and hold up over the course of time. And so, and part of that's, we're stretching the amount of work we can do. We know we've got a lot of streets that could use some chip seal and surface work, and so it's no small amount of change. As you can see, it's 156,000 plus we put some alternates depending on how much the material can last. But again, by narrowing both the time frame in which we do the work as well as the location of work, we're able to be more efficient. So the contractor's not hopping around the city to do projects. You'll see in the maps they're fairly concentrated, basically a 5-year plan that we've got the city separated in to do.
Any further questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carries. Discuss and approve the purchase of an inspection vehicle not to exceed $31,000.
This item was in the 2022 budget, and Robbie was going to join us via Zoom, but I don't see he's joined us unless, Tara, there's somebody in the waiting room. I don't see anything up there. I did send it to him, yeah, just in the last hour. He had a family vehicle issue himself. So, but in the 2022 budget, we did approve or did include a sum of money for an inspections vehicle. You'll see there's nothing attached because we actually have to solicit proposals on this yet. Our procurement policy sets forth that we have to solicit no less than 2 proposals, and we'll be doing that following this meeting. We thought we may have the specs prepared, but essentially it's kind of your routine specifications for a sedan that the inspections department would utilize to perform its inspections throughout the inspection territory.
I'll accept the motion.
So it's less of a purchase, more of a solicitation of
Yes.
proposals.
I'll make a motion to approve purchase of an inspections vehicle not to exceed $31,000.
Anderson,
Barnett,
second.
We have a motion and a second. Gerald?
Is this replacing any vehicle?
Yeah, we currently have an older Tahoe that's been used. The Tahoe's outlived its useful life. Fortunately, the dealers we've talked to are pretty positive on a solid trade-in value. So that we'll have off of that 31,000 anywhere between 6,000 and 7,000 of a trade-in. So the net cost to the city will likely be 24,000, 25,000, somewhere in there. As we can tell in the market today, it's a good time to trade in some of the used vehicles. There's a strong market out there for them.
Any further questions? Please call roll.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
David Holt.
Aye.
Eileen Daniel.
Aye.
Ryan Rossing.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Andrew Larson.
Aye.
Thomas Kelly.
Aye. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Discuss and approve Resolution 2022-3, the award of a contract, the purpose of CDBG closed grant administration and the bidding services to General Engineering Company.
As you'll see in the resolution, this is in concert with the county's spend down of the CDBG closed grant dollars. They solicited proposals competitively for this work and received, this was the low apparent bidder. We also did solicit last summer for similar proposals, and I would say that this is, we're achieving some financial efficiencies by combining efforts with the county and the various other CDBG close grant projects. Additionally, we've learned at least one other township has bowed out of the project, so it's possible there will be additional dollars for more projects within the grant. I would also qualify and say it's maybe not additional projects, but because of costs and quantities being considerably higher year over year, it's likely that we'll need those additional dollars for contingency work at projects throughout the county. So we hope to go to bid on this in the coming weeks, and should you be so willing to select them and then begin construction, because the dollars need to be spent down by the end of 2022 on this.
Gerald?
I move approval of Resolution 2022-3 to award a contract purpose of CDBG closed grant administration services to General Engineering Company.
Larson, second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Gerald?
What does the close part mean?
It's a way of closing out some turnback dollars that counties had. That's about the most layman's term explanation I can give you. That I understand that there's actually maybe another round of closed funding available. We haven't, the county finance director and I talked about this, and so that was the first she made me aware of it last week. So we'll find out what the county might be interested in pursuing that in the future. I'm unsure.
I'd also ask our administrator to comment on our working relationship with the county at this point when it comes to their finances.
Yeah, they have a new finance director, and she's new to the county. She came from, I think, the Northern Illinois area, if I'm not mistaken. I think Carrie can probably speak to some of maybe her working knowledge of her, but I think she's very much interested in partnering with the city, especially on some of these initiatives that have co-benefits, and I appreciate that. We also did talk about their plan and process for ARPA monies. That's been kind of a standing item on the future agenda discussions, but we're looking at taking some aspects of their process. I think their process was pretty sound in terms of calling out, and maybe Tom was involved in the Funding Opportunities Committee and how they approach their use of ARPA dollars, but I've pretty high confidence in her, and I think she definitely wants to work with the city as well as other municipalities in the county in the future.
So in Lehman's turn, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Discuss and approve wastewater discharge operation permits for the new applicant's Eagle Septic.
Last fall, the council approved a new process for review and approval of discharge operation permits. This is a new applicant, Eagle Septic. I don't have any real commentary on that. Maybe, I don't know if Jim has any, he can come to the podium if he wishes, but this is a reflection of the new process and procedure.
can ask
Case
that
is
out
pretty
loud.
straightforward. Eagle Septic bought out the old country pumper, who was also a customer at the treatment plant, so it's really just a name change, ownership change.
Larson, I'll make a motion to approve the wastewater discharge operation permit for the new applicant, Eagle Septic.
Holt, second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? One, I'd like to thank our staff and our time for putting these processes in order to protect our interest as a city in our water. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Discuss and approve the quick claim deed and dedication associated with the gift of 416.3 acres of property from Lee Swank to the city.
Rossing, I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion, approve the quit claim deed and dedications associated with the gift of 416.3 acres of property from Lee Swank to City of Rhinelander.
Mikulowski, second.
There's a quick caveat. Did you want to add?
Yes, just so the council's well aware, it's a beautiful gift, and we've talked to Dr. Swank, and we've met with him. We have a signed deed from him. We also have a list of conditions that he would like us to review. We got an updated list from some of the silent sport clubs today that we'll take a look at. We also have a title report coming from the title company. So all of this is coming together as long as you, the council, vote to approve accepting the gift, and then I'll go ahead and finish up all the details to make sure that it's all clean and all taken care of, and that we have all the conditions met that we need to effectively accept a gift on behalf of the city of Rhinelander.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Lee Swank for this generous gift of the land and the fact that he's allowed us to be stewards of his vision out there in the property so people can enjoy the outdoors. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Monthly reports from departments. You'll notice an add-on was from the administrator.
Daniel, make a motion to accept the monthly reports from departments as presented.
Holt, second.
So motion and a second. Any further questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries.
Chris, I do need to update the legal report because we did receive notice today that in the matter of Tim Kingman versus the city of Rhinelander, which had earlier been decided by the court in federal court, he's appealed that decision. So the scheduling of the appeal is on the fast track, and their briefs have to be in, I think it's mid-February, and then we have to respond to that. I've had contact with our attorney with the insurance company who is covering the expense and handling it for the city, and we're both very, very confident that this should be concluded in the favor of the city.
Eileen,
How many more appeals will Mr. Kingman be allowed to have before this matter is settled?
You only have one automatic appeal, and that's the one that he's doing right now.
Okay,
After this point, he could only appeal on procedural errors, and that would mean that somehow a federal judge had done something wrong, illegal. But they can deny, from this point on, the judges can deny, they won't hear it, they can turn it down, but you do have an automatic appeal right. It's constitutional.
is it possible there could be a summary judgment on this one?
I'm sorry, Eileen.
Just like the judge takes a look at it and says, and just throws it right out?
Yeah, understand this is purely going to be on brief. So they'll read their brief and they'll read our brief and they'll make a decision. This will not be long and involved, and there won't be any other, you can't add to the facts. It's the facts as they are and as they were discussed in the original case. But it is part of the American system, you know, so it's a constitutional right. I should also point out that we had, or the insurance company, not we, but the insurance company had offered to, if they would give up their appeal rights, that they would reduce the amount of attorney's fees that we have a right to recover, or the insurance company has a right to recover, but they chose to appeal. So the costs of this will likely find their way back to potentially Mr. Kingman.
Tom?
So this sounds more like it's just procedural stuff.
Well, it's procedural in the sense that you have a constitutional right to appeal the decision of a lower court, but it's your right. And what they'd have to show is that the judge misstated the law or did not apply the law correctly, that he, you know, because the facts are the facts are the facts. They're already in the record. So it'd be that the judge had applied the law incorrectly. And any of you that have read the decision that was made, and if you haven't read the decision, I can make available to you, it was a very, very well detailed decision. Whether you liked it or didn't like it, it was well written and well detailed. And not all, I'm sure Joe can say, not all decisions of especially administrative judges are that detailed. But he did an excellent job of detailing why he decided the way he did.
All right, with that, if anybody has any future agenda items they'd like. All right, we've come to the end of our agenda. We're adjourned.